Yo, what's up, Rap?
What's up? That was that Charlotte
Yo.
Gator. That got
Yes, sir.
right there.
Yes, I got some breaking news, yo. Check this out. I want to say happy birthday to my mom. I love you, mom. The most powerful black woman I ever met in my life.
Happy birthday,
Miss Robinson.
Mom.
Woohoo! Feliz cumpleaños, Miss Robinson.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Man, WSME FM Enlightenment Radio. We are tuned in to and locked in to the Hustle Within podcast. This is episode 7. Episode 7. Capton Management. Don't forget about Capton Management, Capton Brands.
Forget about Capton. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Man, hey, we jumping right into it. We're going to jump right into it. Segment 1. We talking about, let me give a backstory. The top 5. This is our top 5. We talking about the top 5 most powerful mob bosses of all time. But the catch is, we're not glorifying these mob bosses. We're just talking about some of the culture, how they have become popular, how people made so much money off these names and these different influencers, and from rap to hip, just from hip hop, rap, clothing lines to movies. Man, we got the top 5. So before I do that, I'm gonna go to UK Mills. Who do you think is number 1 on this list? It's a top 5 now. It's a top 5 in the mob bosses too.
I got two choices. I'm gonna go with Frank. One of them, Frank. I can't remember his Frank something. I can't remember his last name, but and Al Capone. That's the only 2 I can remember.
Okay, Al Capone. You're right. Hey, before I go to the top 5, I'm gonna go to you, King Los. Who you think is number 1?
I'm gonna go with the gangsters are all gangsters. Charlie, Lucky, Luciani.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that name. Yep.
And I got another one, Meyer Lansky.
Okay. Yeah, you close. And K Mills, you right there. You number 1. Al Capone is the number 1 gangster influencer. Everybody use Al Capone for everything, for movies, music, games. Al Capone is a Chicago mobster. He was one of the biggest teamsters, mobsters, whatever you want to call, the early 1900s. What King Los? What 19 what?
30?
1940s, 1950s, right around
that time.
That prohibition.
Yeah,
they was bootlegging.
Bootlegging alcohol. Yeah.
1930s to the 1950s.
Killing. They were doing a lot of killing.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're not glorifying the killing and the bootlegging and all that stuff. We just looking at how movies,
racketeering.
Yeah, they did everything, white collar crimes. They did everything to that point. So my whole thing is, first person, Al Capone. Second, Lucky Luciano, what you was talking about, King Los. We also got Vito Genovese's, number 3. Then we got Frank. Go ahead and finish up for me, King Los.
Frank something.
I'm gonna say Frank Sinatra, take me to the moon.
Yeah.
No, okay, never mind.
Yeah. What about you, King Mill? Frank who?
It ain't Frank Lucas, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Frank
Luciano. Oh, okay.
And then you got Sam Giancana. These are all your top 5 most powerful mob bosses of all time. I mean, these guys created so many different avenues and streams of income. And the positive side of it is, like you said, they did streams of income. They have different income coming in from all different angles. Now, all of it wasn't legit money, but they did have money coming in for all angles, like what we do as executives now or business owners. We want to have different lines of income coming in, but legitimately. We don't want to have it. We don't want to be out here trying to racketeer and money launder and bootleg, and we don't want to do that. We passed that now. We got to do grown man stuff, grown women stuff. We got to go out here and work, get this money, but get it from different angles. And like I said, these guys was very influenced in the culture. I mean, in black culture, real big in black culture. From just the hip hop world. Like, I mean, you got a lot of artists that would use their name, some of the hitmen and some of the people that was in the mob as their name, their stage name. you know, just to get more fans, and people love it. The movies, man, we got your favorite movie, The Godfather, King Los. I know that's your favorite movie. I remember that's your favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Godfather 1 and 2. I don't know if you like 3 that much.
Yeah, they got the game. They got the games for all them.
Yeah, but Godfather 1 and 2. What? Okay, Godfather 1 and 2 was filmed what, 3 years apart?
Yeah, just
And
about.
Then Godfather 3 was filmed like 10 years apart, right?
No, about almost 20.
So they filmed Godfather 3 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
After Godfather 2 ended.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
But it's beautiful because it's the way they lead from the Godfather 1 to Godfather 3, because all the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Michael become a little older, but at the same time, it's still the same characters.
Yeah.
That's the genius in that movie. That's one of the best movies of all time. The Goodfellas. You got Good Casino, The Goodfellas. You got The Godfather. You got The Mobsters. I got all the collections. I got all the movies. I got all the. You got Scarface. You got Frank Lucas. You got you got movies about every mobster I just named in that top 5. You got their own individual bios.
Yep.
You got Teamsters movie about some of these gangsters that was influencing to the unions. So man,
that was in the boxing too.
Yeah, boxing. Some of the stuff that they did in boxing, man. So what are your take on it, King Los? You know, because just want to get your quick take on it.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, they were part of American history, right?
Right.
With respect to some of the things that they're doing, whether it's glorified or you know, what people think signify what we think is good or what we think is bad. This is a part of the American history. The fact that, again, to emphasize your point, that we're not glorifying violence or illegal activity, or money laundering, or that gangster lifestyle. We're just stating the fact that these people existed. They were involved in some illegal activity. They made a lot of money, and their influence has transpired over time and really kind of lived out their lives, because they influence music, movies, you know, how people approach and learn from their criminal activities, and really kind of some of the laws that exist today to counter that sort of illegal world. But you know, I think for the most part, there were some other gangsters out there that didn't make that top 5. Meyer Lansky, like, how can you not talk about Meyer Lansky? How can you not talk about the Black Mafia family? You feel me? Because that's a story in itself. But I think due to the pigmentation, they might, you know, the Black Mafia family may not get a movie, may not get some of the things that, because that gentleman, he just is gangster, and in fact, he did it his way and made a lot of money. So at the end of the day, again, we're not emphasizing or you know, highlighting criminal activity. We just want to make sure that we talk about a little bit of American history.
Yeah, it's American history, man. Like you said, it's end of the day, it's something that is part of our world, part of our culture, and we look at the movies. We love the movies. We love the music. So it's part of our culture. We love the storylines. So that's one thing we have to always look at, and it leads into our next segment, which is white collar crime. So some of your examples of white collar crime, we dealing with embezzlement. Do y'all know what embezzlement is? Money laundering, bribery, tax evasion, inside trading, identity theft, forgery. These are the names of the white collar crimes. And the reason that I picked this subject tonight, because I wanted to touch on the importance of understanding what is white collar crimes and some of the other crimes. White collar crimes are the crimes that may land you into a dormitory instead of prison. You might be able to go home, walk in, walk out of the prison. Just depends who you are. Now, that's another thing. It depends on who you are. Now, if you Martha Stewart, you might go to Club Fed. It's a federal crime. These are all federal crimes. Embezzlement, money laundering, bribery, and that's what a lot of your mobsters, a lot of guys we just talked about, they got indicted on a lot of these crimes. Tax evasion, inside trading, identity theft, forgery, embezzlement. And that's one thing I want to talk about. And I know, passing it over to you, King Los, just give us a little insight on some of the things you may know about some of these white-collar crimes.
Well, I mean, based on statistics, the demographics of who's going to jail for white-collar crimes and who is not, right?
Right.
Without getting into racial politics, anything like that, you guys can go out there and figure it out, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you this, it's a true tragedy in America, and it really just speaks to the dysfunctional justice system. And if you don't believe systematic racism exists, this is one example of how you can actually see it based on statistics of what the crimes are and what the demographics and what those people look like. And when they are going to these Club Med prisons versus some of the roughest prisons in the country. So I'll leave that up to you guys to kind of do that research. But I will speak to the fact that it's white collar crimes is nothing new. And the way they divided it up was based on how they felt like, all right, more people of this particular kind are committing these crimes. So we're going to label these as white collar crimes. They're a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more strategic, and the way these crimes are planned out and then ultimately executed. If you ever seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, where there was a lot of crime dealing with the financials, money laundering, certainly dealt with high level or that top tier class of drugs. So all those things kind of intertwined into that particular movie, which was based on a real life story, a true story. And it really revolved around a lot of money with the different demographics than your day-to-day inner city group, committing crimes against other rich people, if you will, and trying to evade and defraud the government in the process. So white collar crimes is nothing new. They just pretty much changed the game in terms of attaching a definition that really spoke to, hey, we got to separate some of these crimes, and we have to make sure that these rich folks, they're going to be punished, but they're going to be punished in a resort type environment versus having them placed in a jail cell or prison with violent, low income individuals. So that's the biggest difference there. And at the end of the day, for me, a crime is a crime. You do that crime, you should pay for it. I don't care if your crime was, robbing someone of $20 with a handgun, or robbing someone with $1 million, taking all their 401k savings or what have you, and stealing it, like Bernie Madoff, right?
Yeah,
He
that's
did
one of the key
He
ones.
made off,
He
right?
made off with a lot of money.
Yeah, but he doesn't
He
deserve.
made off with my old lady.
Yeah, well, that is probably true.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people should be punished, and the penal system should have no distinction between white collar versus blue collar crimes. They all should be housed and treated the same, and that's my take on it. So I'm going to pivot and punt to UK Mills.
You pretty much covered it all. Like I said, they separated, like I said, because they didn't want to put them in the same place with violent crimes, because they wouldn't have made it enough, and they got money. Oh yeah, they'd kidnap them in the jail. Yeah, they held them hostages. Yeah, you couldn't put them in there. So yeah, they made
my
like
question is why
a whole separate branch.
Right. My biggest question is why are we looking? Why race have to come into play when they do these sentences on white collar crime? Because if I'm in the hood and I do money laundering, or if I'm doing tax evasion, I'm gonna get more time than a Bernie Madoff. So that's the issue that we have to look at, and that's one thing that that's why I told a lot of people to vote. You got to get the right people in office to set up these crimes. And I mean, you do the crime, you got to do the time, but at the same time, you got to be fair.
Fair is fair.
Yeah, you got to give everybody the same. If you're gonna punish me for 10 years for embezzlement, then Bernie Madoff need to get 10 years for embezzlement, right?
Right.
And he need to be in the same prison that you put me in. He don't need to be in a dormitory where he can walk out, come back, leave, go back out, come back in. We don't need that. That's why I said the criminal system need to be changing. We really need to change it, and we really need to focus on getting the right people in office. That's the main thing. That's why I tell everybody, get the right people in office.
No, you bring up a good point, man. I mean, like at the end of the day, you're still dealing with human beings. You're still dealing with biases. You're still dealing with the fact that money does influence how we view and how we perceive people, how we treat people. We're more apt to treat someone with money and a certain title than someone without that title and without money, right? And it's just our natural biases that come out. So when you start to kind of magnify that on a legal, from the legal and judicial perspective, you're dealing with flawed humans. They could have woke up bad that day. They could have had a fight with their wife. You could remind them of someone that picked on them in high school. So they're handing down judgments based on how they're feeling. Because we can look at the data and we know the fact that, certain racial groups are being penalized harsher than others. That's just a fact. The numbers don't lie. Like they said, the numbers don't lie. So that's where we have to, I won't even pretend to tell you that I have the fix for that, right? Maybe we standardize all laws. If you break this law, you go to jail for this time. But when you start having people, judges and jurors that may have some biases determining someone's future in terms of how long they serve in jail, then you're always going to have this issue of unfairness. And that's what we got to get away from. If we go to standardizing and just strict standardizing, minimum 5 years for this, maximum, whatever that is, then I think that's how we can kind of beat around some of that. But just to kind of bring it back to what we're talking about, white collar crimes. It's ongoing right now. It never fails. Somebody out there think they're smart enough to outsmart the system, and unfortunately, it just kind of we find out after the fact, after the damage is done, after the victims lost all their their savings and 401k. There's always going to be a Bernie Madoff out there trying to scheme, and because he or she don't think they can get caught. It's no different than this coronavirus relief when they were giving out PPE loans, and these folks are out there buying Lamborghinis and not spending it on the right things and to bring people back. That's a Ponzi scheme, or not a Ponzi scheme. I apologize. That is defrauding the government. That is misuse of government money. That's considered a white collar crime. And guess what? They're getting away with it. They ended up getting the Ferrari, going on lavish vacations. Until the government caught up with them. And now they're in hot water. And I get,
fraud. So yeah, these are key things that we have to look at. And with that being said, man, it's time to go into one of the best segments on the show. Everybody be I don't know. They be coming for this man, K Mills. They be saying, "Hey, man, we want to hear the K Mills stories." So, man, it's time for the K Mills. You got a story to tell segment. K Mills, like I always say, I'm gonna pass it over to you. I'm gonna sip on my orange juice. Pass it over to you, man.
All right, with this story here, we in college, and it's me and two of my homeboys. One day we chilling in the dorm in the room or whatever. We always kept our door open. Everybody on our side of the hall kept their door open. So this mixed dude, this mixed built dude comes in the dorm. He walking up and down the hall. I'm like, something ain't right about this dude, man. Why he just walking up and down the hall? So my homeboys looking. Now my two homeboys, they little. They ain't big like me. Now I weigh like 225 at this time. They were like 180, 170. The dude was like 250. So I took a nap. When I woke up, I heard, you took my cigarettes. So I jumped up, run to the door, and it was my homeboy, the littlest one. He telling my homeboy, the littlest one, he took his cigarettes. He trying to debo him for he'll give him some cigarettes. So my homeboy like, man, I ain't take nothing. So they squared up. I said, oh man, here we go again. They squared up. My little homeboy grabbed him. They tussling. Then my other homeboy ran out the room. They both grabbed him. They can't take him down. So I said, I gotta help him. So I get my Mike Tyson stance. I'm bouncing side to side on my way to him. As soon as I got close to him, both of my homeboys let him go. I caught him with a hook to the body, to the kidney, a left hook. And when I caught him with that, he said, and he bent. Then I caught him with an uppercut in the chin, dropped him. As soon as I dropped him, my homeboy start choking him out. So I get on the table. I get on the table like a Macho Man Randy Savage. Drop an elbow on his ribs. He said, ugh.
Oh man.
I dropped back. Now my other little homeboy, he steady punching him in the rear. He punching the rear. The dude like, I quit. Y'all win. I quit. So by then, the security came. So we took our running. We took our running and tried to run back in the room. But the dude jumped up and he ran to the security. And he dove on the security like the security was his daddy or something. I mean, the security guard called him. Then he dropped me like, yo, what's going on? The dude like, they trying to kill me. So he like, who? Everybody ran in the room. So they called, he knocked on everybody door, made everybody come out. We lined up like on Life when they had the baby trying to see who the daddy was. They had us all lined up like that. My two homeboys were first. I was 4 people down from my homeboy. So the mixed dude, he went down the line. He looked at them first. Then he went all the way to the line. He looked at me. Then he went all the way to the end of the line. Then he came back. I'm giving him to me. I'm mean mugging dude. Like, you better not say nothing about me. So he looked at me. He ain't say nothing about me. Then he went all the way down to my two homeboys. And he said, them two. And then he ran behind the security guard. So yeah, the security guard, they got them. Yeah, they got kicked out of school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Another epic story, man. We're gonna go into our break. You know, we gotta go pay some bills. So you are tuned in to WSME SM Enlightenment Radio, the Hustle Within podcast. Make sure you shop at Capton Venture Partners. Make sure you tune into that. Just one of our sponsors, Forever Young. Go to www.foreveryoung.com. Hey,
absolutely.
Keep it locked.
Holla at me, man.
Yes, sir. We are back.
What's up, Rap? We back.
What's going on? We gotta jump right into it. WSME SM Enlightenment Radio. We are on the Hustle Within podcast, episode number 7. Man, hey, we about to jump right into it, man. We got to go into the barbershop talk, segment 4, episode 7. Remember. Mm-hmm. Now, I have some questions. I have a question, but it has some steps to it. So I want to see, you tell me what you think about it, what choice you would choose. So, guys, if you had a choice to be rich from a white-collar crime, remember, that's our segment we've been talking about, white-collar crime. Mm-hmm. But the catch is you would get 20-plus years for the choice that you made, and it would help benefit you and others. in some way. Step one, question one, forgery. When you take forgery, it will give you 25 years, but you'll be able to provide your community with money, and your family will be able to use the money for generation wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you won't be able to use the money, only your family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, identity theft. You get 23 years, but the money will only benefit you. Your family would not be able to eat off this money, period. Only you. But now remember, you will be in jail for 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're in prison for 23 years. Now, number 3, tax evasion. You get 30 years, but you could be the leader of the free world, meaning you could be president of the United States.
Don't want it. No, go ahead.
You seen one, you seen them all.
You seen one, you seen them all. But
that's
you go
right.
to jail, and you can use the money to take care of your family, but it won't be able to benefit you either, right? So, which one would you pick? 1, 2, or 3? King Los. And why?
You know, I'm be honest with you. Like, going to jail is not just, you know, it's not in my cards. You feel me? Like, my freedom, man.
You got no choice. You
like, I don't want to be your president because I hate all people, right? No. I mean, who would want to be the president? Like, really, you gotta be a psycho to even want to do that, right?
Right.
Because I don't want that much control over anybody's life, right? I guess I would have to go with option 1 if I didn't have an option of not choosing any of them, right?
Yeah, you gotta choose one.
Option 1,
it's 25 years. You will be able to provide for your community and your family, but you won't be able to use the money. So community and family.
Hate my community, but I guess I'll do option 1. Sometimes like my family, I guess I'll do option 1.
Okay. All right. And K Mills, which one you would pick?
Well, I'm gonna go with one. But check this out. This is what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna tell my nephew.
Nope.
To give my homeboys a couple of stacks.
There you go.
So, yeah, my homeboys can send me some money. You said family. You didn't say homeboys.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, your family, your community, and your family can benefit, not you. They can't give you money, they can't send you money, they can't do anything for you. You'll be locked up in jail for 25 years with no money.
So my homeboys can't send me no money neither.
Nope.
Nobody in the world can send me no money.
Nope. You gotta
what about
in jail.
What about pictures?
Huh? I'm still gonna pick one.
What about pictures?
Yeah, they can send you pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get pictures.
I want HD. I want HD TV and everything.
Yeah, you can get pictures. That's about it.
You know, you might want some pictures of what's going on in the world.
What's going on out there? Yeah. Just set it up for when I come home.
So y'all both picking one.
Oh,
Man, I'll probably have to go with number 2. I'll go with number 2. You know,
you gonna keep $40 a week.
My family be able to eat, but not, you know, they'll still be able to eat. You know, but it's identity theft. So I'm just stealing the identity of somebody. Go to jail for 23 years. So I'm getting out in 23. Y'all getting out in 25. So I see y'all. You know, y'all be there for 2 more years before. I get out before y'all.
You won't get no letters or nothing.
Yeah, you get letters. That's it.
No, I'm saying you said you can't get no money to your family when you pick number 2.
No, the money will only benefit you and your family. But I won't be able to eat off the money. Only while I'm out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with number 2. I can live off that money a little bit before I go to jail. Then when you go to jail, you go to jail, you won't get no money. You won't have no money.
I ain't trying to go to jail in 2021 and beyond. I'm gonna eat like Meyer Lansky on the beach, you know.
Oh yeah.
My grapes and wine and chill.
He's still living off that generation wealth. He's still living off that money.
First of all, Loaf,
he chose number 1.
I'm gonna build the jail. I'm gonna have your jail built.
That's smart.
Number 1.
Yeah.
But man, hey guys, I got a special guest tonight, man. You know how I do it. I bring in great guests. So first, let me break down her resume a little bit. She's an educational leader, an entertainment exec. She's also a mother. She's a motivational speaker. Man, let's bring in Miss Bridgett Bree Green.
Hi guys.
What's up? What's up?
Hey. How are you guys doing?
All right.
Well.
Good.
All right. So, well, have you been watching the show?
Of course. I've been keeping up.
Okay, so what we do, you say, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from, background.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of who I am. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina. I moved to East Orange, New Jersey, because I was pursuing acting and entertainment. Once I got up here, I went to performing arts school and started doing commercials and television and things of that sort. And so from there, I am currently a supervisor for an urban school district, but I have an educational leadership hat, but I also have an entertainment hat. I've worked at MTV, BET. I've managed models. I have my own clothing line. I've been doing a lot of things. So I'm also the commissioner for a zoning board. But I do a whole lot.
Oh yeah, I know.
We like clothes now. We like clothes. If you want to send us some.
I got something. I have a men's. Well, my boyfriend has a men's line, and it's really booming, really good right now. It's called Benji Derriere. So I'm gonna definitely send you guys some gear so you can wear it to the show. I had a lingerie line which was called Mob Couture, and we work with all types of different types of models. And so that's been really big as well. But I do a lot. I probably left out a million other things that I do. But I do a lot.
Awesome.
So, who is your biggest influence or role models? Who's your biggest influence or role model? I'm gonna go ahead and go hard with the questions on Gates.
I see. Well, I'm gonna start with. Of course, you start with your. Not to say it's cliche, but I start with my mom, of course, right? So that's the person I've always modeled myself after her. She's a woman of valor, a woman of dignity, very spiritual. So of course, I follow behind her footsteps. But I'm gonna say in the entertainment world, I'm gonna say someone like Oprah, Mona Scott, right? Someone who has paved the way. I know some people give a lot of flack to Mona about the way that she was able to bring in African American women and men into the entertainment industry. But again, I think that kind of paved the way for a lot of us to actually be on TV because, in Black Hollywood, we don't have an opportunity to get on television. So I think, like I said, Oprah, Mona Scott, my mother. I also have my cousin. She's she was married to an NBA player. Her name is Dante Corbin. She's a philanthropist. She's an entrepreneur. And so from her being a young girl, just watching her footsteps and watching what they've been doing, that's kind of how I modeled myself.
Okay. So how long have you been hustling in all your businesses, and which one do you like the most?
I'm going to say I like them both. I think they both bring balance to my life. I think educational leadership, I think being able to be an educator and always being on that totem pole of moving up as far as education and always being a learner is something that I love to do. And then I inspire other young females who want to get into education. Being a supervisor, I have 10,000 students that are in my district, 200 teachers that I work with, 14 to 20 principals that I work with. So I love that because it's like a constant change, especially right now dealing with the pandemic and COVID. It's a lot, right? It's a whole lot that's going on. So I like that. But then I also love the entertainment part, right? So I love being a motivational speaker. I love being able to act. I love being able to manage models, right, and give them a platform and just break contracts and deals for them for different magazines and television shows. I've worked with, you name it, I'll probably share the screen with them, or I've interviewed them, or I've done different things, during NBA, our NBA Slam Dunk contest. I've been able to interview different people during that, New York Fashion Week, you name it, I've done it. That's just kind of how it is. And I kind of like both.
Okay. King Los is from New Jersey also.
Oh,
yeah.
big city, huh?
Oh yeah.
You have a question for our guest tonight?
Yeah,
Green.
yeah.
Dr. Green. I call her Dr. Green.
Okay, all right.
Very soon.
So, I mean, I guess I get a little personal because, I mean, I'm from New Jersey, but like, where are you domiciled? Like in New Jersey, what city, what state? I mean, not state, but what borough, town?
East Orange. So right now,
Mhm.
I currently live in East Orange, and I also am a supervisor for the East Orange School District. But I've been in South Orange, Maplewood School District. I have family in Willingboro. That's pretty much the areas that I frequent.
Mhm.
I'm very familiar with Newark, of course, because it's like our bordering town. So
Yeah. I used to actually live on Springdale Avenue in East Orange.
yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been in, and I hate to turn this into personal, but like whenever I hear somebody like living in, New Jersey or what have you, I like to, how's it treating you? How's New Jersey treating you? How long you been there?
So I've been here for a while, over 14 years. Why do I love East Orange, or why do I like New Jersey? New Jersey is fast paced. It's different, totally opposite of Columbia, South Carolina, where I was born and raised, right? So New Jersey is very fast paced. You're about 15 to 20 minutes from New York. And at the time when I was younger, I told my mom, I said, listen, I really want to pursue acting in the entertainment industry. And she was like, you know what? We have family in New Jersey. Let's just move. And my mom was really big on moving to New Jersey anyway. And so from that way, I was able to start working with MTV Jams and doing like Pepsi commercials and things of that nature. And so for me personally, I like the fast pace. Columbia is really good. It's hospitable. The hospitality is really good down there. And that's most of my family is still there. But I personally like New Jersey because it's really fast paced. Like you never get a dull moment in New Jersey, especially not in East Orange, right? And it's so close to the city. Like I actually went to New York today, actually, before the show.
Sweet.
So how do you like New York? What is your spot for New York, I guess?
Oh, my favorite place is Times Square, of course, because that's like basically the center of like all of the television shows, like NBC and all of that. That's where the headquarters are. So 42nd Street, 45th, all of that. In addition to that, I really love Harlem, right? If you know anything about Harlem, 125th Street, you're talking about all of the Black-owned businesses, restaurants, eateries of that. My favorite restaurant is Ely Roofs. It's in Harlem. So I love Harlem. I love, New York City. Of course, any of my friends that are watching this that are from Brooklyn and the Bronx or any other place, they'll be like, why did you say anything about us? But New York in general is just a great place to be. I mean, a lot of times people who come from other places, it's definitely a tourist site, but for those of us who live very close, it's kind of like it's home. It's something that you can call your own. You'll never have a dull moment. I mean, of course, right now during the pandemic, everything is closed, so you can't go to a Broadway musical. You can't do any of the clubs or anything like that. But you can still go sightseeing. You can still enjoy the fast pace of New York.
So I do have another question. As an educator and someone entwined in the education system in New Jersey, what are some of the opportunities you believe that you can, kind of spearhead and initiate in 2021 that because of the pandemic you didn't get to in 2020?
Wow. So, I mean, right now, most of our focus has been on remote learning, virtual learning. I think in 2021, to be better prepared and use technology, I think is what we're really working on, and making sure that we have a platform for our students to learn, making sure our students are one-to-one when we talk about technology, and households who are in urban community that don't have the great technology that we need in order to be successful. So moving in 2021, I've actually sought out this program that's artificial intelligence, helps the students to be able to read to a computer similar to Siri. It's called a mirror. And basically, when they read into the computer, that particular computerized system will help them with their deficiencies in reading. So that's something that I really am big on, and making sure that, students of the urban community, African-American, minority students are able to have all the resources that they need in 2021. So we won't be left behind.
So what is your favorite place to travel? I know you travel a lot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know you be all over the place. You've been in Mexico, China.
Oh man, why would you ask me something like that?
Man, that sounds like that one of them K Mill questions.
I think, okay, let me tell you where I would like to travel. I'm going to say in the upcoming future, very near future, I want to go back to Africa. So Africa is like number one. And where else do I want to travel? I heard Ecuador is beautiful. I heard there are two parts of Ecuador. I heard there's a part that's like a really rich poor part where you can enjoy, and then there's another part that's like a poor part. And so I have come in contact with some people that I've worked with during my mechanical engineering days. And they were like, you got to go to Ecuador. And I was like, Ecuador? I would never go to Ecuador. So I think I want to try Ecuador and the Philippines.
So you have a background in mechanical engineering?
I do. So I was an instructor at NJIT, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and I taught mechanical engineering to a pre-college program.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I keep learning new stuff. See you hustling all over the place.
Yeah, I do it all. Sometimes you hear people say jack of all trades, right? But master. Yeah. And I like to say I'm a master of all trades, right? There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing that will stop me from doing what I feel like I can do. So I try to dibble and dabble in everything and just try to learn.
So what is your take? Okay, our segment tonight was about white collar crime. What is your take on white collar crime? Like some of the stuff that's going on now, because there's a lot of stuff going on with the DOJ, with these PPP loans, and what people using that money to buy Lamborghinis and houses, and they getting $2-3 million. They don't even have a business. So what is your take on some of the stuff that's going on from a white collar crime standpoint?
Really, honestly, it's just people taking advantage of the system, right? And so I personally think that, people who do white collar crimes, they sometimes think that they're not criminals, but I think you're still a criminal, right? You're still taking away from somebody else's pocket, whether you are doing it in a way that you shouldn't, but you are. And so I think that, it's very interesting to see, our current president right now is already talking about, all pay taxes. No, you don't pay any taxes, right? So I think they should be held to the same standard as people who are minorities who carry weapons or are engaging in different other things, such as drugs, right? Sometimes we talk about people who go to jail for drugs. They have more time than those who go to jail for something like rape or something, right? So
exactly.
And it's very unfortunate. So I think people should be held to the same standard, not because of the fact that you're in a certain tax bracket that you can try to go. Because most people who are in white collar crimes, they don't send them to a regular prison.
Nah.
No.
You know that, right? So they send them.
But you got to take the collar out.
Right.
They send the part out. You got to put white.
Right. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
If it said black collar crime, then you take the collar out, it's going to be, you're going to be
a different scenario, right? But they send them
20,
to
30 years.
They don't send them to a regular prison, and I've read articles about the amount of things and privileges that they get, right? Yeah. And I think sometimes it's not equal. We want to make sure that it's equal.
Right. K Mills, you have a question for, I guess, Dr. Green?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. Bonus question. So, is she still on there? So, if you can go back in time. Okay, there you go. If you can go back in time to your 16-year-old self, in 3 to 4 words, what advice would you give yourself?
Never settle. I wouldn't even say, I would never. I think, I have accomplished a lot, but I think at 16, you kind of just don't really know what the world entails, right? You just kind of go different ways, and it's like a fork in the road. And I would say continue to never settle, never doubt yourself, and just keep going.
Nice. It was harmless tonight. That
was it.
Yeah, that
was easy. Y'all don't have a female host. What's up? I'm trying to get on.
We're gonna start having guest hosts come in, and we're gonna bring you back.
Okay.
Definitely bring you back.
Maybe I can bring some of the models or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We all agree with that.
Cool. Vote right now. Hey, I'm voting right now. Yeah, I'll put my hand.
I was with a few of them earlier today. They actually, even during COVID, they're still getting booked, which is weird, right? But I was with a few models today, and like I said, I'll bring them on. I was telling them about the podcast, and they was like, they can't wait to listen and watch them. So definitely.
Yeah, tell them definitely they can come on anytime.
Absolutely.
So give us your handles, your shout outs, and where people can follow you in.
Yes. So I am at Front Page Bree. On Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I am on Twitter. So Front Page Bree. Those are my handles. I have a company called Be Pretty Elite, and so that means be leading your thinking and leading your doing, and that's for TLC. You can follow me on Be Pretty Elite as well. And those are like the most pertinent ones that I'm on right now.
Okay, well, it was great having you tonight, Dr. Green.
Thank you.
No, give your shout outs real quick. I know you got some people to shout out.
Yes, I do. I have a glam squad, so I definitely have to give a shout out to Chachi. I did my makeup. My hairstylist is Phenomenal Bundles. Of course, I definitely have to give a shout out to Benji Derrior. You guys have to be on the lookout for that clothing line. It is amazing. I'm telling you, go check that out right now. Definitely want to give a shout out to my daughter, Skylar. She's only 2, and she's going to watch and she's going to say, look at mommy. So I have to definitely give a shout out to her and to Beanie, and my mom and my brother, Zoe. That's it.
All right. So
Thank you,
great
guys.
having you on. We're going to bring
Thank
you
you,
back.
Doctor.
It's an honor to meet you.
And tell them models that
they're ready.
We voted.
They're ready.
We are professional judges.
Oh, okay. They are ready. Check them out on My Couture. I have some of my models on My Couture. That's on Instagram as well. But definitely check them out.
All right. You have a good night. And
thank you.
We're going to definitely have you back.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good night.
Oh, what's up, Rob?
Guys, another great. What's up, Rob? Man, you from Charlotte, man. For real, man. I know you from Charlotte.
I just officially moved to Charlotte. I was gonna announce it later, but you'll probably see it on Facebook.
Okay, I knew you were from Charlotte somewhere. I heard it. I heard it in your voice. But man, we will go ahead and do your handles, K Mills. Since you from Charlotte, I'm gonna let Charlotte person go first.
All right. Well,
and where people can follow you at.
You can follow me at Kenny Robinson on Facebook, or you can hit me up at kmill652@gmail.com. And I'd like to give a shout out to Richmond County, Montgomery County, and Uptown Charlotte. All my friends from Uptown Charlotte. Holla at your boy.
Yes, sir. And King Los, give you a shout out. Give you a shout out, your handles.
Well, I want to give a shout out to everybody I gave a shout out to last episode. And if you haven't checked out last episode, go check it out.
Check it out.
You can catch me on my handling my handle on this podcast, Holding It Down with the Hustle Within, every Sunday at 9:00. And, everybody be safe, be well. Happy Thanksgiving. That's coming up. Big shout out to the doc for stepping in and handling this handle from behind the scenes. Big shout out to our guest, Dr. Green, for holding it down in Jersey.
Green, Miss Bree.
Appreciate her. Looking forward to some of those clothes, right?
Yeah.
Some of those clothes.
Yeah, and the models.
We like clothes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
clothes.
And we like models, right?
Yeah, we like
certainly. Yeah. So big shout out to everybody, man. Y'all be safe. Much love to you.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody. Everybody that's watching the show. I guess Miss Bree Green. I call her Dr. Green. Doc P, King Los, K Mills, my family. You can follow us at The Hustle Within Podcast and Capton ENT. And you can if you want to follow me, you follow me on Anthony Little on IG. On Facebook. And once again, guys, man, another great show. And you are tuned in to WSME Enlightenment Radio. And make sure you follow our sponsor, Forever Young. One of our proud sponsors, Forever Young. And Capton Ventures Partners, which is one of my other companies. They're a proud sponsor of the show, too.
Shout out to AC Brown.
Yeah, AC Brown Collection. Make sure you
big shout out to AC.
Yeah,
AC, we want you on the show soon, brother. We want you on the show soon.
Oh yeah. AC, we gonna bring him up here. AC, we gotta bring him up here as a special guest host. We're gonna bring him up here. But
No
man,
doubt.
y'all have a good night. And once again, you are tuned in and keep it locked to The Hustle Within on WSME SM Enlightenment Radio. Good night.
Holla at me, man.